Yeah, I'm going to go through this kind of quick. You can always replay it. There's a lot going on right here, but if you go to the book 61 through 68, I combined all these 6 examples in the book into this one video. And I have a cheat sheet you could come back and look at later. It might help you to remember what we're doing or why it works, because it's hard to remember what, for instance, what does a short date string look like? What is now? Now that'll be more clear, but here it is. I'll just show it. It also talks about when we use the pound sign right here. So again, it kind of works like this. Get rid of this. So we'll run this. Didn't mean to do that. I wanted to be in the coding. Let me close this. Go into the code portion. Start. So what we're doing here is, this is different than using what we did in the other videos, is now we're using a data type called as date. So we're declaring a variable DTE result as date, and then want to get the current date and time. Taking the variable, we're saying equals now. Now meaning right now as I'm making this video, and time keeps ticking away in the clock. So now it's constantly changing in seconds. And then we want to show the results as a string. So let's just run it. So now is 5/3/221, 9:46 and 14 seconds. When I click that button, that's when now was. Now we're on to formatting dates. Again, this is the clue that we're in the right button. So we're taking the same, we're using as date again, we're using now again, but we're going to format the dates. So we're taking now, again, I think I combined some of this, but anyway, we're taking now, and we want to see now as a long data string. So, and then we want to see now as short date string, and we want to see now as long time string. So really we're changing it to a long time string, to a short time string. Let's see what they call it. They call it converts the value of the current date object, the object being the variable, equivalent short time string representation. So here we go. So it took now and made a long date string. Then we're going to click it again, it's going to make a short date string. That's why I made the cheat sheet, so you can go back and, if you're interested in, because it's hard to remember what the differences are. So there's short, now we're going to go long time. No, we're still on a short date string. Time, there's no seconds. I mean, there was seconds, now there isn't any. Hope that makes sense. Okay, now we're on extracting date property button. Again, we're using the as date and we're using as now. And it's going to display the various date properties. So now has properties within it, meaning seconds, minutes, hours, and so on. So, but all we want to do is we have a literal string, I guess you want to call it, and well, we want to see the month only. We want to see the day only, the year only, the hour only, the minute, second, day of week, day of year. So we're extracting this information out of now. 5, that's right. 3, third date of the month. The year. It's 9. It's 9. It's 9 something. We'll see what minute it is right now. It's 9:50 and 7 seconds. The day of the week is Monday, the first day of the week, and the 123rd day of the year. Okay, now this button is called getting the names of the weekdays and the month. So again, we're using the data type as date. We're using now. So we want to see, we'll get the literal, the concatenation, the variable, and we're changing it to a string, and we're looking for this equation. We now have 4 parentheses, so this is that's why I call it an equation. It's doing something extra. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to do this and that. This, I hope you understand what that means. This and that extra. If that makes sense. And so we're looking for the day, and we're looking for the month name. So it's this right here means Monday, and this means May. Again, we're just learning how to do this. Again, this has to be in a capital. This has to be in capitals. If I was to change that into small, it wouldn't work. You could, again, I encourage anybody to play around with this stuff. Okay, this is a little bit different, and I'll try to explain it. Defining date literals. So in this case, we're using as data type, but we're not using now. We're making our own now. So we're calling now. Again, on this program, I'm just using what he had back in 2010, but that's what he had with the pound sign. If you can't use any, well, it's just, I can't do it right now, but anyway, so we're taking this variable and the message box show that to long date string and a space. There's no letters in there, so we're putting a space between something. Let's keep going. Another concatenation and to long time string. So there's going to be a space between the date string and the time string. If we didn't have this, they'd be right next to each other. And it wouldn't look right. So we're taking this. We'll just play it and see what happens. So we took this, and we change it to a long date string, and we have a space right here to the long time string, 0. In other words, the long time string has seconds. Okay, the last button is called manipulating dates. and we're using the same data type as date, but there is no now again. So now we're you can put anything here, but and the pound sign. We're going to mess around with this here. We're going to change it around. So let's see if I can go through this. We're going to add a day and display the results. So date change date equals date start date. So date start date. So date change date equals date start, and add days 1. So we should, when we click this, it should add 1 day. It should say the 29th. It does. Now if we click it again, going through what I just said, we're taking again, a lot of times you read these backwards, and make more sense. We're taking that date, we're changing it, we're adding 6 months. So this is 2 February, we're adding 6 months. It's now August. Then we're going down here, we're going to read it backwards. We're taking this, date change, add year, or actually subtracting a year. So this should, if we're subtracting 1 year from this, should say 23. $23.99. That's what I meant. Took 1 year off of the year 2400. Again, this is why you can't use now. But if you were, again, who knows what program you would write that you would use this, but that's how you do it. And again, remembering what these things mean. Again, they're functions made up by Microsoft.